Hey guys, I'm Brianna,
I'm DJ.
I'm Paul.
I'm Justin.
and we have a film today to talk to you about how to design a professional website. I'm going to start us off with planning process and getting your website started. With the technology and fast-paced society that we live in today, many are accustomed to receiving information or services now. This same mentality has leaked over into virtually every aspect of our lives, so it is only natural that one sees a change in mechanism with those who are trying to capture an individual's attention. The purpose of this informative film is to better educate those who are striving towards building a professional website that clearly and concisely conveys the attitude and goal of the user, to be able to creatively organize and illustrate the information, product, or service effectively, and to maintain a flow of progress and productivity that promotes the desired longevity of the website. Our expectations of what the user will achieve with our help is obvious, but the first question the user must ask is, what are my expectations from this professional website? One must ask, what is my message? Who is my audience? What do I want to achieve? Does the user aim to buy, sell, inform, or persuade? There are obvious differences in the techniques used to attract the intended audience to choose the user's website versus another website with similar information. To each his own, so to speak. After deciding the goal of the site, it is important that immediately after to choose what type of site one aims to create, for this is directly correlated to the goal. It wouldn't make sense to have mismatching goals in the type of site. It could create confusion for both you and those you intend to reach out to, maybe even attracting those who you didn't mean to attract in the first place. There are several types of site applicable to the sorts of goals. For example, if you're trying to find a job, a resume site might be useful. In addition, these sites are wonderful career-building tools too. On the other hand, if one is attempting to sell a product or service, a promotional website or a small business website is geared for sales. A promotional website is more geared towards getting the word out about a specific item, while small business sites are trying to endorse a business as a whole and its success. If one is trying to campaign oneself, a personal site might be the best choice for you. These sites are all about you. This includes your achievements or personal attributes that make you believe that you are a unique individual to be showcased. It is important to recognize that websites are just another type of document. It is all written text with words and images displayed in a manner for clear presentation. Just as a typed paper has a cover page, a website needs a home page to set the tone and provide a foundation for the website. Typically, the home page is on the first page of the site and gives the audience a heads up on what to expect and the purpose of the site itself. It doubles as an introduction and a table of contents, all at once. The next feature that is vital to the ease of navigation of the website is a node page. The node page acts as a directory for the home page by subdividing the content into smaller, easily readable material that the audience can use as a tool when choosing a subject to research or view. The actual pages of the website can be compared to the meat of a sandwich, the substance of the site. Pages contain the facts, details, images, and any other information that might be available. To better aid the audience to comprehend your information on the web page, it is sometimes useful to chunk the sentences. The navigation page acts as a regulatory sign that directs the user to the material that they are seeking to find. A common example of a proper navigation page is a sitemap. This helpful tool breaks down the entire website into categories, like an index, that's easy for the audience to direct their way through. Out of the necessary requirements for a successful website, a splash page is actually optional. The splash page is preliminary to the home page and acts like a cover to a book. It is useful for adding an extra sense of style and creativity to the site due to all the decoration. Commonly, splash pages have a type of animation or images that are attractive to the audience and make them curious to see the rest of the site behind the splash page.
Now that you guys know how to plan your website, I'm going to tell you about organizing your content in a proper manner.
Once you have your general plan and strategy ready for your website, you'll next begin the creation and design process. One expensive option you have for doing this would be to hire a professional web designer. While this option would ensure quality design and customization, it can be costly. A cheaper alternative would be to use a site template, which can be found from websites like Google Sites, Wix, or Snap Pages. These templates can help you organize your content in proven methods, but don't allow the full customization that would come from either you or a professional web designer creating the site. Whichever method you choose, there are still aspects of web design you must become acquainted with to guarantee your web page is effective and professional. When visitors first open a web page, statistics show that within 6 to 8 seconds they will decide whether or not to stay on your page. Given that short amount of time, it is obvious that the layout of your content is very important. If this is done effectively, the feel and purpose of your site will focus your visitors' eyes to what you want them to see. If they get the wrong feel or focus on the wrong material, the greater the chance they're going to hit the back button. The layout of a website serves as a kind of map for its visitors. Once they understand the layout, they'll know where to look for different kinds of content. Creating a site layout can be thought of in two aspects: laying out the general or broad content areas and laying out the specific content within those areas. This is established by deciding where the navigation and sidebar menus are located and what content belongs in these menus. Just as your overall site layout needs to remain the same throughout the site, the placement of elements within that layout should remain consistent. It is important that your user always knows where to find the navigation tools, and being consistent with their placement helps confirm that. If you keep thinking of your site's layout as a map, it will help you decide whether you're leading your visitors where they need to go. Designing site navigation involves finding a balance between the importance of making it noticeable and not overpowering content by standing out too much. Using icons instead of words in your navigation menu not only requires visitors to think too much, it's also more visually distracting. Instead, use only easy-to-read text that clearly describes the content that is contained within the link. You want your user to quickly notice where the navigation menu is and not have any difficulty understanding where each link leads. Having good, logical navigation makes it easy for visitors to find the information they need. The primary goal of any navigation for sites with more than a few pages is to lead the visitor from the more general to the more specific. By ensuring logical sequencing when displaying your content, you can make certain that the path your user follows will present your information correctly and in order. Be sure to consider whether your content needs to be viewed in chronological, problem solution, or cause and effect order. Having some navigation in the footer is something visitors have come to expect. This menu is particularly handy when you have more than a screen's worth of content on the page. Foot menus tend to be used for housekeeping items such as contact information, privacy policies, advertising information, or terms of use. An additional option you have for making the navigation of your site as easy as possible is to include a site index on your homepage. Site indexes are similar to the table of contents in books, but instead provide links to all of your different pages, labeled with logical titles and broken into subcategories. This list of links shows the user all the content that is available on your site in one view and can be useful if the visitor has a specific topic in mind. Viewing information on the web is, however, very different from viewing a physical book. For example, you do not want to lay your content out all on one page in a single paragraph. Forcing your user to continually scroll to view information will cause them aggravation and possibly lose their attention. Instead, present your info in small, easy-to-digest chunks. Whenever possible, break your content up into separate pages so that each page has one screen's worth of information on it. Another important factor in a website's readability is choosing a proper typography. Although users can change text size in their browsers, you want to avoid making them do this by choosing a logical font size. Finally, choose a font and color that is easy to read. Primarily use sans serif fonts and black text on a white background for a professional feel. White space, or negative space, is what designers refer to as areas that contain little or no content. When you visit a website that feels crowded, you're experiencing a lack of white space, and this crowding makes it difficult to find what you need or to know what's most important. White space is any area separating content on a page, even the amount of spacing between lines of text. By being consistent with your use of white space throughout your site's design, your content will look more organized and professional. No matter what method you choose for creating your website, following these layout and organizational methods will ensure that your visitors trust your content has come from a reliable and professional source.
Now that we've talked about organizing your website, let's talk about software usage and graphic design.
Hey guys, it's Paul here, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about creating your professional website taking into account Graphical User Interface, or GUI. For those of you that don't know, GUI is a type of user interface that allows us to interact with our computer via images rather than text or code. This includes everything on our computer that has an image associated with it instead of code. GUI makes computing a lot more user-friendly, and a good GUI will make your website more appealing to the public. When we are making our website with GUI in mind, we have to look at two things, and that's simplicity and control. A good example of a simple website that still allows the user full control for what they need to do is Google. It has its logo, a search bar, 2 buttons. Up here it has a menu and a sign-in. But the thing about Google is it is easy to navigate through without clutter and allows you to do what you need to do in a quick and timely fashion. Mobile access is also another major consideration we have to take into account when we're making our professional websites. People want access on the go, and we must design graphics that take into account phones and tablets by making sure everything fits onto a smaller screen and is easy to use through touch. There's no denying the popularity of mobile commuting, and we can see this through social websites such as Facebook, the Chive, or even Reddit, and many others that offer an easy-to-use format for mobile devices. Video also plays a major part in many websites today and is a fun, interactive way to make your website more user-friendly and more enjoyable to use. Video, unlike text, tends to yield a deeper relationship with the user, so incorporating video is an easy way to get through to your audience. We see this relationship with the hugely popular website YouTube, which is all about video. No matter what you're looking for online, there's normally a video about it. Now that I've talked about making your website easier to use, let's talk about the many different software options available to choose from when designing and creating your professional website. Although many of these programs can be expensive and difficult to use, there are also free and easy to use options. The first one I want to talk about is Wix. This is a free to use website creation tool. Let's take a tour.
Hi, welcome to Wix. We believe everyone deserves to have their own beautiful site for free. Wix offers hundreds of designer-made templates. There's something for everyone. Just grab any template you like and create your own amazing website using the intuitive drag-and-drop website editor. All the elements are fully customizable. Color, text, images, menus, you name it. So literally in minutes you can have your site live your way. So whether you're an artist, small business owner, or entrepreneur, Wix has everything you need at your fingertips to make having your own site a reality. Wix offers world-class support with demos, tutorials, and real-person live answers. Now, let's get you a stunning website.
Now that I've talked to you about some of the free ways you can design your website, let's look at the software that professionals use. For example, we'll use Zara Web Designer, one of the market's leading web designing software.
All right, now that we're done talking about the software usages and graphic design, let's go ahead and talk about the legal aspects.
When you hear the word legal, you think of sentences phrased in a way only a trained professional can interpret, right? Well, no need to worry about that. Many of these legal aspects we need to consider feel very intuitive. So let's begin. A very important legal aspect to consider in the development and even after the website is made available has to do with the material that is posted on your website. The main thing being, try not to use any material that would infringe on a company's or person's copyright, trademark, or patent. It could really ruin your day if you do. One of the best examples of this was in the year 2000 when the World Wrestling Federation was taken to court by the Worldwide Fund for Nature because they had trademarked the acronym WWF. The Wrestling Federation fought the lawsuit, but in the end lost and had to spend both time and money to change its name to WWE. Another legal aspect you have to consider has to do with the information that is posted on your website. According to current laws, it is the duty of a company or person to update the information on a website with the same frequency as if it were a paper document. Because out-of-date information can be considered misleading, you should always show good practice and put on your website when the information was last updated so that a customer can gauge for him or herself how reliable the information is. The example above is just a simple book on programming in Java, but it is still up to date and has a date of when it was last updated. So a person wanting to learn Java could in fact rely on this book for up-to-date information. Which is the end goal of a website? You want to provide your visitors to the website with a reliable service that is easy to access from a computer. That ease of access should also be secure because privacy is very important to people in the information era. People should be able to trust that any information provided such as addresses, birth dates, photos, credit card information, and other things are only going to be used by them. This trust can be achieved by creating a privacy statement and having visitors to your site look through it before entering any private data. If there is a cause to use people's personal information for statistics or to help better service their experience on the site, what the data is going to be used for must be laid out in the privacy statement. As you can see in the information above, not only does Amazon have the date of when it was last updated, but it clearly lays out what any of the provided users' information will be used for. The privacy statement also reassures the visitors to the site that their information will not be used by the site for any other reason than what is put in the statement. In the final stages of designing a website, you must be concerned with two things, which are maintenance and updates. Maintenance means keeping your website secure, and this is vital because you want your visitors to your website to feel safe visiting the site, providing any necessary information to the site, or even making purchases through the website. Between hackers, identity thieves, and bored computer-savvy people, your website is always in danger of being attacked. Here's an example of a hacker attack.
Oh no. Can someone tell me how the hell he got into our system?
Oh shit. He hacked us.
Now this doesn't mean that you'll have a hacking experience like the one in the example, but hackers are a real threat. So it is vital to the maintenance of the website that you keep your security measures up to date. Just because you're doing everything right doesn't mean everything can't go wrong. Take a look at our example.
If there are no more questions, I would like you to meet our next blockbuster. Encom OS 12. Whoa. Still a few.
At some point in time, your website will have major issues and you will have to make repairs. Hopefully this won't be for a very long time, but because this is inevitable, part of maintenance is keeping both you and your users' data backed up and safe. There exist several programs that will back up your data automatically. For example, Windows operating system automatically backs your computer up whenever it doesn't update. You also have the option of manually backing up your data, but that requires more time. So the main question you want to ask yourself is, do I want to do more work or less work? Now you're thinking, I've done all this work in developing this site. We should be good to go and not have to tinker with the website again. But in website design, there is no perfect website. Websites are created by people, and people in themselves have flaws. Therefore, the site will have flaws, not because it wasn't well designed, but because it's impossible to catch everything that could go wrong. So you will be constantly updating your website so that your visitors will not have a bad experience on the site.
All right. Hopefully you guys were able to learn something about designing and creating a professional website today.